what's going on? My name is Staff Sergeant Harris.
I'm Tech Sergeant Dennis Bridges, and we're here to take over the Special Warfare Recruiting Instagram page, and we're here to answer any questions you guys might have when it comes to TACP.
Quick about me. We're both TACPs. Obviously, I've been in for 8 years. I've been here for 2 years now. I'm a Special Warfare Preparatory Instructor, formerly known as Battlefield Airman Prep. So I'll be able to answer any questions you guys have regarding Special Warfare Prep. And the perfect counterpart to that is Dennis.
Yeah, so I've been here at Medina now for right at 4 years. I've been with the TACP prep course for all 4 of those years. So anything you guys might have when it comes to the course of the initial entry for TACP, when it comes to training, what it's going to be like for when you guys come in through BMT, all the way through the TACP prep course, and then moving forward to the apprentice course. Got a lot of experience with that. So any questions you guys might have. I was stationed at Fort Campbell before I got orders down here. So I was at the 19th ASOS. I had 2 deployments out of there, to Afghanistan with the 101st. So any type of questions you guys might have as far as training at a home unit and deploying and what deployments are like, or maybe living with the Army, feel free to shoot those questions our way as well.
Yeah, I was at Fort Riley, Kansas, 10th Air Support Operations Squadron for 6 years. Had 2 deployments, one to Afghanistan, one to Iraq. Plenty of experience working with different units as well. So, yeah, any questions about what it's like to be active duty TACP or the training pipeline, send them on.
All right, so we're starting to get some questions come in. Give me a second here. I'm going to try to scroll through them, make sure I don't miss any.
What's the difference between TACP and CCT? What's the difference between a TACP and CCT? Connor Anderson 99 asked that. The difference between a TACP and a CCT is TACPs generally support conventional units, and our exclusive job is to become JTACs and be joint fires experts. Like, that's our only job, is to call in direct, indirect fire, and non-lethal fires in support of the ground commander's mission. CCTs have a little bit of a different role. Their exclusive customer is generally the special operations community, usually ODAs or Green Berets, and they also become JTACs. Some of them, a lot of them are dedicated to like surveys, being able to land aircraft in austere environments and things like that. You got a question?
I got Ethan Humrich. Why'd you choose to be a TACP? For me personally, it was just the job. I did some research when I decided to join TACP. I actually had a couple buddies that were already in the career field, so they were able to answer a bunch of my questions. We didn't really have this type of opportunity, so it's really awesome that we're able to come to you guys live and answer your questions. So that's a really good positive with the recruiting aspect now. But just the job, the brotherhood of being a TACP, being at a unit, one of the best things with me was just all the people I served with. Like, it was awesome. I'm still friends with everyone I've been downrange with. Working with the Army is pretty cool. You'll hear a lot of people say that it's like there's a negative of being with the Army, but some of my better friends that I still talk to today were guys that I was deployed downrange with. So, and plus, blowing stuff up, bringing the firepower to the enemy. I mean, it's literally being able to direct the battlefield and make direct changes on what's going on is one of my favorite aspects of the job.
So, OKC Jumping Beam asks, what's the most challenging part of the pipeline? And the pipeline is difficult, it's physically challenging, demanding, your body's sort of tearing down the whole time. Academically, it's challenging. You know, we hear a lot of horror stories about night nav and land nav and stuff like that. But honestly, the most challenging part of the pipeline is that it doesn't end after the 3-level course or after TACP prep. You're still in upgrade status to become a JTAC, and you're just constantly being, not judged, you're constantly being evaluated. So once you graduate, you can't, there's no like big weight lifted off your shoulder. Now you gotta really hit the books again and sort of make strides towards becoming a JTAC and becoming a good one. So the pipeline doesn't just end once you get your beret, and I think that's something a lot of people aren't aware of. Most challenging part for you?
obviously the schoolhouse is going to be challenging. It's definitely a marathon, just day in and day out. It can become a grind, but just being motivated and just knowing you're getting paid to do one of the better jobs in the military was rewarding for me, and always like something I strived for. And then just constantly keeping your currencies once you get to your unit, just like Sergeant Harris said, day in and day out. It doesn't end once you get your beret. There's constant studying that goes along with it, constantly in the books and going TDY and controlling CAS, and being in the sim. It can take a toll on you, but at the same time, you're loving it when you're doing it. And once it's over, you'll definitely appreciate where you've been and what you've done.
Eric H. Kim asks, nowadays, do TACPs deploy in small teams, or are they singular attachments to other units? That's sort of a complicated question, because in a perfect world, you would go to your unit, you would live, eat, sleep, train with a specific unit you'd be attached to or aligned with, and you would deploy with them and support them. Just because of the way ops work and manning works, it usually doesn't happen. So like, I've never actually done the job with a unit that I've trained with. You're usually just kind of piecemealed out. Somebody over in this AO needs a JTAC, somebody over here needs one, or you're not even slated to deploy, but a unit lost a guy to injury or medical or something. So other units are filling those billets. So, I mean, most generally, you would deploy as a team and then be piecemealed out from there, but sometimes, yeah, it's onesie, twosie deployments. Just really depends.
I got a Tristan Novak. How was the NDOT for TACP? So, whenever I came through TACP, the TACP prep course was not a thing yet, but being the course chief now and running the course and having been around it for the last 4 years, I can tell you that it's 5 days long. It is physically demanding. It's mentally grueling. It's meant to be that way. Just a quick, normally the first 4 days of the course, it's going to be PT, which is physical training, for about 3 to 4 hours in the morning. And then you still have academics in the afternoon, and you're still going to have to have an afternoon workout. So normally doing 2 days with academics can become pretty grueling. Also, we focus a lot on rucking, and you guys will be running a lot, anywhere from 2 to 3 miles in our course. And then obviously, once you guys get to apprentice, the mileage will start to creep up, and then you guys will actually graduate apprentice with the 12-mile ruck. So as far as the course of initial entry goes, 5 days, and then once you graduate that, you guys will move on to apprentice.
Mean Green 3 asks, how do I grow a cool mustache like the guy in the cover photo? You don't. Next question. How is the soft TACP NDOT? I personally haven't been. I know quite a few guys who have been, and they're not trying to kill you. It's physically challenging. You need to come in shape. There's 12-mile ruck, there's PT tests, there's team events and stuff like that, but it's a lot more than just being physically capable. They're looking for a certain type of individual. So it's not like the most physically demanding thing ever, just be in shape.
So I got Saban. What's the reason most people wash out of the tech school? I've talked to different people and heard different things. I would say, from my aspect, from the course I run, the biggest reason is not meeting the physical standards. So either falling out of the runs, falling out of the ruck marches, and also we lose a lot of individuals due to injuries. The biggest injuries I have seen here have been stress injuries. So stress fractures to feet and shins. That can be due to a lot of different things. What we found here is some of the people showing up just weren't physically ready. So if you guys had any advice for me, it would just be make sure you guys continue to train. Make sure you guys are actually out there running, rucking, and doing what you need to do.
Vila DeLuke asks, is the Tier 2 test going to replace the past for TACP, ALO, in the Phase 1 packet? Will it be a determining factor for a pass-fail in the pipeline or at Phase 2? And I'm not 100% certain what your question is, but I think you're referring to the operator fitness test or the Valflorin, whatever it's called these days. So that's here to stay for the time being. I think January operational units have to be in compliant. So if you're a TACP, you need to be able to have a passing score by January, and that's going to sort of filter down backwards into the schoolhouse, in my understanding. So if you're out there and you're training to become a TACP or an ALO, it's definitely something to keep in mind that those standards you're going to be held accountable to. If not here, then for sure at your operational unit fairly soon.
And then just to touch on that as well, we're actually starting to implement going over the operator fitness test standards now. So when you guys are showing up to basic training, and also once you guys get to BA prep, we're going to start working on form and going over exactly what you guys need to be successful. In the TACP prep course itself, right now in our afternoon workouts, we have been implementing functional fitness routines and workouts to hit a lot of what you guys are going to see in the operator fit test. Once you guys get to apprentice, you guys got block 1, 2, and 3 of the apprentice schoolhouse. They're also in each block touching on aspects of the operator fit test to try to get you guys as ready as they can. Come April of 2019, the test is going to be going live as far as tech school. So every class starting after April of 2019 to graduate will have to pass the operator fit test.
Chris Paul, 94. Any chance a UK JTAC can transfer over to you guys? I have no idea. But come on, give it a try. Led Nikki, 14. While in prep, can you switch from CCT to TACP or vice versa? Or do you stay with the job you first entered boot camp with? That's a complicated question. It's asked often. The short answer is no. You can't switch because people would get in and flip-flop around too much. Exigent circumstances, yes, it has happened, but it's not something for you to plan on.
I got Warren Easy, sprints or distance to prepare for the pipeline. Me personally, I do a combination of both. In our course, we will do intervals on the track. We'll do 400 intervals, we'll do 200s, we'll do 800s. We also do mile repeats, and then we also go for distance runs as well. So if you guys were just to incorporate a day of doing interval training on the track, and then also doing runs as well, you guys can do longer runs at a slower pace, 8 to 8:30-minute miles. And then if you guys can try to cut it down to running 7:30s for 2 to 3 miles for the TACP prep course, you guys would be spot on.
1_8_0. Is there a PJ prep course? That's not TACP related, but I'm a special warfare prep instructor, so I'll touch on that real quick. The special warfare prep program is an 8-week program you go into right after basic training, and it goes for all 4 special warfare career fields: TACP, CCT, SAUT, and PJ. So that is your prep course. There's no more PJ development course, or at least don't plan on it. It will be special warfare prep and then INDOC.
All right, I got Donnie R. How long is the period time in between finishing BMT, BA prep, special warfare prep, and what to expect when going into the prep or INDOC? So you guys are going to go into BMT. The cool thing you guys have going for you now is you will actually have special warfare instructors that comprise of all the career fields, which is combat control, PJ and TACP, and I believe there's also a SAUT over there that will help run your guys' PT sessions. So I think at least you guys are going to get a workout a day with one of those instructors. Then once you guys graduate BMT, you guys will go straight into BA prep. BA prep is 8 weeks where you guys are working with coaches and instructors every single day. So you guys will be training there, and then from once you guys graduate BA prep, you go straight into the COEs. And right now, obviously the COEs that we have, which is Course of Initial Entry, is PJ INDOC. You guys got the Combat Control Selection course, and you got the TACP Preparatory course. So that's kind of the timeline you guys are looking at: 8 weeks, and then go into your Course of Initial Entry.
G. Rosby, any rucking tips for shorter people? Honestly, man, shorter people a lot of times have to do a significant amount more what we call like ruck shuffling, where it's kind of like running. A lot of times their legs aren't long enough for them to like open their hips up and get those big strides. So shorter people generally have to do a lot more running on the ruck.
Z22, are you on the front lines or a little back as a TACP? So basically, depending on who you guys are deployed with and what the mission is, will depend on what you guys are doing. TACPs normally operate out of a TAC, which is a Tactical Operations Center, where you guys are going to be back with the Army officers and dealing with battle tracking and figuring out what's going on in the battlefield. But depending on who you guys are supporting will be dependent on what you guys are doing downrange and what mission you guys are. I can just speak from my own personal experience with the deployments I have. I was at battalion, so I was back in the TAC and going out on missions for my first deployment, and then my second deployment, I was down at company level, which was out with the platoons, living out at a combat outpost, and with that, we were out a lot more. So once again, that's going to be based on kind of where you're at, who you're supporting, and then with TACP, as you guys start making rank, and you start becoming a staff sergeant, a tech sergeant, and a master sergeant, then you guys are going to start being up in the TAC a lot more, and not going out doing as much cool ass stuff. But definitely when you guys are coming in, you guys are going to be rocking the mission, and depending on who you're supporting will be depending on how much you guys will be going outside the wire.
Clark Dilemma, I don't know. Can you return to the pipeline if you wash out due to injury? So if you get injured, let's say you get injured in VA prep, you have all these support personnel, nutritionists, psychologists, athletic trainers, physical therapists, flight docs, all these people dedicated to get you back into training. They're really smart and they're really good at what they do. If it's like a catastrophic injury, it's possible that you would just be removed from VA prep and put under wing development, which I think you might have mentioned, which is like former operators where they'll tailor workouts for you while you're kind of in holding or healing. But if it's really bad, it just depends on the timeline. There's only a certain amount of time we're allowed to keep a student around if they're injured before we have to wash them out. And then oftentimes we'll just be retrained into something else. But we'll do everything we can to get you back into training if you get hurt here.
I got David Olney. How is B&T different for BAs? Right now, one of the big differences is you guys have your own BA flights. So a couple years ago, you guys were intermingled with all the other AFSCs going through BMT. Now you guys have your own BMT squadron, and you guys are pushing your own BMT flights. So the cool thing with that is that all the guys and girls you're going through BMT with, you'll now be graduating and moving straight into BA prep with. So you guys are already starting to build that camaraderie and relationships, and then you guys are going to push forward into a BMT. And that will also play into, you guys are getting workouts now from the special warfare instructors instead of just going through with the drill instructors.
Eric, I don't know, Kim, how long does it take a schoolhouse grad to earn his JTAC qualification? So a general sort of rule of thumb, it used to be it would take around 2 to 3 years. I think they're trying to shorten that up a little bit to 2 years or less now if they can, but it really depends on the candidate. You get to your unit and you have to get recertified on all the skills you've already learned at 3 level. So you have to go through that upgrade, become CMR, which is combat mission ready, and then you'll sort of shadow and do practice runs out on the OP with experienced JTACs, and then they'll kind of watch you and you'll get racked and stacked as far as your abilities and potential. And then depending on how well you do is when you're going to be able to go to JTAC UC. Once you get back, then you have to go through another upgrade process where they're recertifying you on all the tasks you learned. So, I mean, if you could shoot for 2 years or less, I think you'd be doing pretty good.
I got Austin PG76. What is the arrival of Medina like for prior service TACP candidates? So right now, if you guys go and look on the ECHA, the reporting instructions are all loaded on the Air Force portal for guys that are coming prior service. On that ECHA, it will actually have the report instructions and everything you guys need to have with you. Prior service, you guys were reporting 3 weeks prior to your class start date. As of now, you guys are not going through VA prep. So once you guys come here and in process, you'll report to wing development. you guys will start to acclimate to the heat and what's going on here, and then you guys will go straight into your class start date. But as of right now, you guys are not attending the Battlefield Airman Prep course.
Eric, Kim, again, how much water stuff do TACPs do? What should I train for, and to what extent? There's a common misconception that TACPs have nothing to do with the water, which used to be somewhat true. But when you get here to Special Warfare Prep, you will be swimming probably 5 times a week. You will be swimming with CCT candidates, PJ candidates, SALT candidates. You'll be doing the same stuff. You'll be doing water confidence. You'll be doing finning. You'll be in the water quite a bit. Training for it would be smart because you're going to have a leg up, and it's exhausting to swim if you don't know how to swim. But yeah, there'll be a test at the end that we have a really high success rate of getting people that have never swam before to be able to finish the Special Warfare exit standard, because we have professional swim coaches, Olympic level athletes teaching you all the way. So TACP's water is probably coming. STZCKS. I've heard that you shouldn't practice rucking at all before in-dock, and I've also heard that's what you should focus mostly on rucking. Which is true? That's a good question. Rucking before you show up is a good idea to familiarize yourself with it. You use a lot of muscles in your hips and your shins and your calves that you really just can't exercise in the same way by running. It's a good idea to familiarize yourself with it, figure out how to wear the ruck, how to keep the straps a certain way so your traps aren't getting smoked or your hips aren't getting smoked. I wouldn't go too crazy with it because you can't injure yourself if you're doing a whole lot of rucking. But taking the time to put a ruck on with 25, 35 pounds and go a few miles, once a week or something, every other week is not a bad idea.
I got a David Oney. Will trainees be able to go home this coming Christmas during BA prep, or do they operate right through it? My experience here is you guys will shut down for training, and all the trainees go to Exodus, which is normally about 2 weeks. Unless that changes, that's the way it used to be here since I've been here. And then I also got one more from Tony Tamashini. Sorry if I murdered your name. Do you do any injury prevention exercises during in-dock, or is it still hellish workouts and tasks? Well, I can tell you the workouts are hellish, but we do injury prevention. You guys, we have athletic trainers that are with us throughout our training. They will warm you guys up before, and then they will stretch you guys and cool you guys down after. They also have the same concept at BA Prep. So you guys are getting a lot of coaches that are running you guys through the warm-ups and cool-downs. You guys also have athletic trainers. We have nutritionists. I mean, we have everything. So, but when you guys come through the TACP prep course, you guys will have the opportunity to warm up. You guys will have the opportunity to cool down and stretch. We try to prevent injuries as much as possible.
Z Layton 97. What do y'all look for in a 13 Lima, and how can they support you guys the best? That's a great question. And a 13 Lima, honestly, it's the same for a Stow or a Pro as well. What we want, I'll speak for myself, what I want is a guy who can lead us, but listen to us at the same time, because a lot of times you get like a first lieutenant or second lieutenant that shows up to your unit, and their way is the best way when you have seasoned staff sergeant, tech sergeant, even salty senior airmen who have done this kind of thing before, and they know why certain methods might not work or certain methods work better. So you need to be able to lead guys, put your guys first, and also listen to them, particularly if they have experience, a good experience. That's what I'm looking for anyways.
I got Dwight 84. How often or how much time do you spend in the field with the Army that you're attached to training when you are stateside? Well, if you guys did not know, as a TACP, you'll be stationed at Army Post. Just like we said, I came from Fort Campbell. Sergeant Harris came from Fort Riley. The only time you guys would really see an Air Force base is if you're stationed here in San Antonio as an instructor. If you guys get stationed at an ST unit, you might have the opportunity to be at an Air Force base, but other than that, most likely you guys are going to be at an Army post. So your everyday life is going to be out with the Army. You guys are going to be attached to Army infantry units when you guys are supporting conventional forces. So every time the Army is going out and doing some type of warfighter exercise, anytime the Army is going to go out and do a jump mission, anytime the Army is going to go out and do an air assault mission, you guys might go up and down mountains and do some mountain warfare training. Anytime they're doing that, they're going to want the TACPs and the JTACs out there with them. They know what you guys bring to the fight, the Army officers that you guys are going to be working with. Most of them haven't been around JTACs and deployed with the TACPs before. They love us. And it's our job to go out and establish that rapport and build that working relationship with the guys that we're going to be supporting downrange. So absolutely, it may not be every single day, but you better believe that weekly you guys are going to be out integrating with the Army, out there with the soldiers, getting to know them, working with them, and starting to build those rapports. So when you guys do get called up and have to deploy, hopefully you already have that working relationship and you guys can just go straight into business.
Scott C. Berry, pretty simple question, but do you love your job? If so, what about it? Well, Scott, yes, I do love my job. My prior job as an actual TACP was great because I got to do all the stuff that you dream about, kick in doors, run around on the ground, and engage the enemy, and drop bombs. And I love the fact that nobody on the battlefield, like literally as a senior airman, you have so much responsibility and you bring so much to the fight. Nobody else can even compare to that. And if you do your job well, you get shown that respect. Like you've got 2-star generals high-fiving you and being like, "Oh my God, what a great job! Thanks a lot." It's pretty impressive what we bring to the fight. As far as being an instructor, I love it too. It's a little bit of a change of pace, but I get to directly influence pretty much every special warfare candidate for all 4 career fields, and help guide them, give them at least pass on some of the knowledge that I have as far as mindset goes.
Yeah, being able to deploy and have the main job of making sure that your customer, which is 9 times out of 10 the Army, gets home safe, is very rewarding, and that's probably one of the best feelings in the world. And we do that by bringing close air support to the enemy. But our main job is to make sure that our Army counterparts and ourselves make it home safely. And then being an instructor, the most rewarding for sure is just being able to prepare that next generation of TACPs to go out there and fill those spots and to take that next war, whatever it could be, to the enemy. Make sure you guys are prepared, help mentor you, and being able to do stuff like this right now is very, very rewarding. I got a Frankie Melton, one female lieutenant made it through TACP schoolhouse and a station in Texas somewhere. Frankie, there's been quite a few lieutenants, females that have made it through TACP. We have had female 13 Limos, which is the officers, already been stationed at operational units, deployed downrange, become JTACs, and one was actually the director of operations here at the Naval Schoolhouse for a while. So it is definitely online. It's been online for a few years, and we have right now starting to work with female enlisted 1 Charlie 4s, which is TACPs, starting to now trickle into the career field as well, and start to try to come through the training. Just to keep you updated on that. Austin Hammonds, what military schools are available to TACPs such as Halo, etc.? You guys as a TACP will have the opportunity to go to a lot of different schools, just name a few. We got Army Airborne, Air Assault, Pathfinder, a few TACPs will go down to dive school, Ranger school is available, obviously Halo. So basically it kind of depends on where you're at in your TACP career, what unit you guys are stationed at, who you guys are supporting, but those opportunities are definitely available for you guys when you guys join the TACP career field.
AAL Buseva. What are your most common injuries to yourself, and how do you appreciate physical therapy and medical staff? Honestly, Sergeant Bridges and myself, we didn't really have these resources coming through. We didn't have these resources at our operational units, and so I'm still not even used to going to them for help. Like, I'm getting better at it. Like, if I've got a problem, I'll go see them, get dry needled or worked on or whatever. But I'm still not even really used to seeking out that kind of help. I usually just stretch and roll and ice on my own time. But they're a huge asset. We have like these game-ready machines that you strap into. They pump pressure, water, hot water. We've got isolation tanks. We've got cold tubs, hot tubs, dry needling capability. We've got so much stuff here. As long as it's not, like I said, catastrophic.
Yeah, right now, guys, there's currently a lot of money that's going into the special warfare program that's standing up here in San Antonio. Just like Sergeant Harris said, you guys have athletic trainers, you guys have PTs, OTs, you guys are going to have your own flight docs. Right now, they just opened up a brand new facility on Medina that is hands down, it's only for you guys, but it's athletic training, it's everything that you guys need to keep you guys in the fight while you guys are here training, running, rucking. You guys can see them before training, after training. We offer you guys all that opportunity. And then, like we said before, as soon as you guys get the BMT and BA prep, you guys are going to start getting the academics on what these sources are, how these resources are available to you, and then it's just up to you guys to make sure you're taking advantage of what they have to offer.
Seth X-Ray, favorite aircraft to call in CAS with? That's a fun question. I would say most generally the A-10. However, sometimes if you have a big target set, like in Iraq, the F-15 is pretty hard to beat because they have so much loiter time and they're carrying an unbelievable amount of ordnance. They're not quite as quick, they don't have a 30 millimeter they can just roll in on the target with, but they're pretty solid in my experience.
I don't know if you answered this, but Shipman R, Frankie, are you a Tech P? I don't know who Frankie is, but you have two Tech Ps right here. Should I focus more on running or distance? From Ted Skates 117. I kind of covered this a little bit earlier. I would focus on running 2 to 3 miles at a faster pace compared to maybe running like 4 to 5 at a slower pace. And also make sure you guys are running your guys' calisthenics as well. So on the track, make sure you guys are doing interval training. 200s, 400s, 800s.
I got two here. Trent_F. What kind of civilian jobs can you get after being a TACP? There's no clear path like, oh, I was a combat controller, I'm now going to be an air traffic controller. There's no clear path, but there's a ton of jobs in the private sector, defense contracting, that with being a TACP, especially being a JTAC and an instructor and things like that, you can pretty seamlessly transition. And then Stephen B. Napier, success percentage of cross trainees. I don't have the exact numbers, and he may be able to speak to this a little better, but the combat controllers and PJs and SAUTs have cross trainee selection courses. We don't, and so our success rate for cross trainees is probably less than theirs because there's no vetting process. It's just like, hey, can you pass the pass test and submit a package? So I would say ours is probably lower than theirs.
Yeah, I would say experience over the last 4 years with the cross trainees I've seen coming through, the rate was pretty low just because they were showing up unprepared. And and they were failing either the pass test on day 1 or they were falling out of their runs by day 2 or day 3 of our training. And that was strictly on the individual themselves showing up not prepared for training. A lot of times I would ask them, hey, how long have you known you're coming to the TACP schoolhouse? And they would say 9 months, Sergeant, 12 months, 6 months. And I'm like, it's been 9 months and you can only do 3 pull-ups. So that's just an example of some of the stuff that I've seen coming through here. That's not saying that all cross trainees have showed up that way. A lot have come through here and absolutely crushed it. I would just say, like Sergeant Harris said, compared to the other career fields, our rate has been a little bit lower due to us not having a phase 2 selection for the cross trainees yet.
Eric, Kim, again, what are the academics like? What exactly do you learn? Is there anything you can do before heading into the actual pipeline prep? I always tell this to my student. I worked at the apprentice course for a little while, but I always tell this to my students here at Special Warfare Prep. We exclusively give simple instructions, and that goes for the academics too. The stuff you're learning isn't that complex, but can you put it all together when you're tired, when you're hungry, when you haven't slept, when it's cold? That's really the key. I mean, if you fail a written test or something like that, that's really on you, because the information isn't hard to digest. It's just a matter of can you apply it, usually is where guys get bitten. And as far as prepping, you don't need to study anything or break open books before you get here, because there's a chance you may learn something improperly and then build that in your head and you can end up biting you later.
I got a question here. D. Redfield, the oldest person to become a TACP. I've seen people in their late 30s come through TACP prep and pass, also graduate the schoolhouse. More recently, we had a guard individual come through. He was 41 years old. He did not make it yet. He is in the process of trying to make it. But just know, guys in their late 30s and early 40s have showed up coming through this type of training. I think it takes them a little bit longer to recover, and you can tell that those guys are hurting a little bit more in the morning. But they have the opportunity and they have all the resources to help them stretch out, roll out, and do what they need to do to stay focused.
Donnie_R, what was your favorite part about being a TACP? What made you guys choose TACP over the other BA career fields? My favorite part about being a TACP, I think you already touched on this question, but for me personally, my favorite part was, like I said, just being able to apply massive amounts of direct and indirect fires on bad guys while simultaneously saving U.S. and coalition lives. That's a pretty powerful thing. That's my favorite part. What made me choose it over the other career fields? I didn't really do any research into the other career fields. I just saw this one. I had a recruiter, he's still a TACP. I had him give me a brief in basic training, and that was it for me.
I got David Oney. Am I able to get some tattoos after BA prep? I also heard the Air Force is more lenient now with that, as well in terms of how much surface area can be covered. I would not recommend getting tattoos while you guys are in BA prep. The main reason is right now you guys can't beat BA prep, so you can't get tattoos anyways. But once you guys graduate BA prep and you guys go over to Medina Training Annex and you guys are getting ready to start your course of initial entry, the answer is probably going to be no. Mainly because if you guys are in the pool and you guys are out running and rucking and it's 90, 100 degrees here and you guys are out in the field environments and it's dirty and it's sandy, it becomes a health and welfare issue. So my answer would be no for that. As soon as you guys get done with training, go out, get tattoos, do what you do. The AFI and the Air Force has changed. They do allow guys to have sleeves now. As you can see, I have tattoos myself. But you are allowed to have sleeves now, and per the AFI, you guys can look that up online. You just can't have any type of neck tattoos. You guys can't have any type of hand tattoos. And then just look up the AFI online and you guys will be able to find out more information on that. Or you guys can DM and we can also shoot that information out to you guys.
So we're getting a lot of Air National Guard questions, and I can't speak intelligently to that. I would just reach out to your recruiters or to this page. They could probably help you out with that. The process is a little bit different. but they are starting to send their guys through special warfare prep now. It's my understanding, so you'll have that benefit. But Breaker 15. What does a typical day look like at the schoolhouse? A typical day at the schoolhouse, where I work now, special warfare prep, is you'll wake up, pretty early. You'll get chow, and then you'll have usually some combination of swimming, running or rucking, strength and conditioning, mobility, and then academics. And that's pretty much every day. The events will be flip-flop. There'll be some team events thrown in there a couple times, but every day you're going to be doing some version of that. And then in the apprentice course, you're going to wake up, you're going to PT, you're going to do academics. It's pretty much more of the same, maybe less swimming. He can answer the typical prep day.
So TACP prep course, 5 days. It's a very, very intense 5 days. You guys are going to be hurting, just to let you know. Day starts at 06. PT lasts from anywhere from 2, 3, 4 hours in the morning. You guys will break for lunch. You'll have classroom academics in the afternoon. Then you guys will finish up the day with the workout. And then you guys will have the opportunity to go see the athletic trainers and do what you need to do. Also, that night, you guys are going to be prepping your gear when you get back to your dorms, making sure everything is squared away for the next day. You guys are also going to have to eat. You guys are going to have to study. We also have a written test in our course. So it's going to be pretty mentally and physically challenging. But the advice I'll give you is, if you just stay motivated, know that you guys are getting paid to train, to do one of the best jobs in the Air Force, and you're working with each other. You keep that teamwork. You guys will pull through, and just know you look to your left and right. You see that guy next to you. You guys can get through that together. So that's a typical day in our course. I got Stephen B. Napier, prior service Army infantry here. Best boots to get since I have to provide my own lowest mid. Right now, I got the lowest mids that I ruck in. It's what we're getting issued here. So I would recommend that boot. It's a good boot. If you haven't already used it, I would recommend it. But being prior infantry, you probably have rucking experience, so I would just do what works best for you.
So we're getting a couple of water questions, and one of them is Mac_K. How difficult is the training exactly? I already answered that. Is there a lot of water training? Like I said, once you graduate basic training and you come over to special warfare prep, you'll be swimming most likely 5 times a week. Somebody else asked, what should I do to prepare for it? I mean, learn how to do freestyle, learn how to do side stroke, combat side stroke. If you want, again, we have professional coaches, we have the instructor cadre there, all there to teach you for 8 weeks how to do these strokes, how to do the water confidence skills. So we have had guys with 0 time in the water pass the final exit test. So it's not necessary, but if you want to get a leg up, then yeah, just learn freestyle, learn side stroke, maybe do a little bit of finning if you want, but it's not necessary.
I got Antonio Videla. Would you recommend this job for a former infantryman who still likes Army infantry stuff, but wants to cross-train in the Air Force? Sounds like a good switch. I would say absolutely. You're going to be working, training, living, sleeping with the Army, and you're going to be out with the infantry. So if you're still loving the infantry job, you still don't mind being stationed at an Army post, then, I mean, being an Air Force TACP, 100% hands down would be the job for you. Except now you get to be on the other side, being a JTAC, and just affecting the mission just so much differently. So absolutely, I would recommend that switch.
I've got 2. Warren Easy, do cross trainees stay in the dorm throughout training? Yes. Noah Rodriguez, how often do TACP see combat? I have a friend who's been in Germany for quite a while now, just training. What are some of the bases you get sent to? That's a complex question. How often do TACPs see combat? I'll answer it like this. I only know one guy who's a stud JTAC and a stud TACP who hasn't seen combat. There is the chance that your assignments will take you to places like Korea or Europe where you're just not going to see it. It's possible, but I also know a lot of TACPs, and all of the good ones have seen combat. And there's a reason for that. There's a reason why a lot of guys who aren't good at what they do or aren't trustworthy or respected by their peers. There's a reason why they don't have good deployments a lot of times. New York, Campbell. No, Campbell's gone. Campbell, Kentucky's. Okay. Sauce? I don't know. Campbell, Kentucky. Fort Polk, Louisiana. Carson, Colorado. Hickam, Hawaii. Lewis, which is in Washington. Fort Riley, where I was, in Kansas. What else? There's several in Germany. There's a small chance you can go to Italy. Korea is a big one. A lot of guys that have gone to. Okay. Yeah. That's all I got off the top of my head. Let's see here. Yeah. Any Russ Costa? Any short dudes in the career field? Yes.
I got Jeffrey Nolan. Have more officers been coming through the schoolhouse since ALO is no longer a rated position? We get 13 Limas that come through every single class. So sometimes that number fluctuates. I've had one come through my course. I've had 6 or 7 in my course that we send up to apprentice. So that just depends on what's coming in the door and what quota is being met. But I can tell you that we're getting a lot of 13 Limas coming in, both male and female.
So Vincent MCG, leaving for BMT soon. Any tips? This goes for anybody who's in the DEP program or thinking about becoming a special warfare or TACP or whatever. The biggest problem we see with guys, not with regards to academics or physically they can't hack it, is injuries. And one of the most common is shin stress injuries. And the reason for that is because if you get off the couch and you decide to train to pass the pass test and then you ship out to basic, all you do all day is hike in boots and walk around the base, and then you run, and then you get to prep and you're running and you're rucking, and your shins just simply aren't ready for it. So do what you can. Run, walk, put boots on and walk. If you're gonna ship, you need to make sure that your legs are ready. You can't just hop off the couch and come do this stuff. You will have problems with your shins.
I got 2 here. Z Late 97 is a TACP prep course similar to AAA for 13 Lima candidates. I would say as far as the long days, physically tough training, mentally grueling, yes, it is going to be very similar to AAA. You're just not being assessed at our course. There's standards you guys have to meet to graduate. And then I got Pesman. How long is training for TACP? Training for TACP. So if you guys are coming straight into boot camp, you guys have 8 weeks of basic military training. From there, you guys would go into 8 weeks of BA prep. From there, you guys would do a 5-day TACP prep course. Once you pass there, you guys move to TACP apprentice, which is 84 training days. Once you guys graduate TACP apprentice, right now we got a lot of guys going to airborne school, and then you guys will also go to SEER. Once you guys complete that training, then you will PCS to your guys's your unit you're going to, whatever army post you're stationed at. Once you guys get there, you guys will have the responsibility to start working on your guys' upgrade, which is going to be your guys' upgrade to your 5 level, and then getting your guys' JTAC certification.
Pesman, what do you see as the future of the TACP career? If anybody's paying attention out there, there's been some pretty big sweeping changes. We've stood up special warfare prep. We have our own flights and basic military training. We, myself included, show up there pretty much every morning to PT the guys and mentor them. We have our own special operations recruiting squadron. We have, well, there's a lot of big changes coming in special warfare community in general. But right now, if you're coming in, just control what you can control, which is, I know you need to graduate basic, I know you need to go to special warfare prep and graduate, then it's BA prep, and then TACP 3 level. That's what it looks like as it stands right now. So I wouldn't really worry about what the future looks like.
I got Canuch 21, retired aircrew flight equipment guy. When you guys got through your survival schools, what'd you think? I went through in the winter. I thought it was fun. It was cold. I can just tell you, I thought it was cold.
Yeah, I thought there was a lot of mosquitoes. pretty much slept with just my nose uncovered, and I would still wake up inhaling mosquitoes. It was really useful training, actually. There have been times where I've had to use it, not like a POW sense, but in other aspects of my life. It was pretty useful training. So, Antonio Videla, what does a TACP What does a TACP do before they have the JTAC qualification? There used to be a world where you would become a ROMAD and you would sort of shadow a JTAC and you would deploy as a ROMAD. We don't really live in that world anymore. You still are shadowing JTACs. You're still learning from them as you upgrade, but that's pretty much your job, is to absorb as much as you can, be proactive in your learning, because nobody's chasing you down the hallway to try to teach you something. You need to find the smart guys, find the guys that are respected, seek out information, be the first guy to ask to get in the simulator, or be the guy to set up a TAC kit to go on a cast trip or something. So you're really just there to be a sponge, to learn, be able to execute as well as you can, so that you can get in front of the line and get to JTAC QC, become a JTAC.
Alright, I got a question here from a name I can't pronounce. Actually, it's Manual ND. There we go. Training for the physical part of the pipeline should only focus on running, rucking, cows, integrate swimming, water con, and weight training. You guys are not going to be doing any water con in TACP, so don't worry about it. When it comes to swimming, I would just make sure you guys are comfortable in the water. Right? You guys should be able to swim. I wouldn't necessarily want to show up here and like jump in and drown immediately, where you're going to have to get pulled out and you can't even keep yourself afloat. So I would just say your basic water skills, being comfortable, being able to, swim laps in a pool. You guys, when you get to BA prep right now, TACPs are in the water, but they're not really being tested on water skills. They're just using it as like an alternate workout, just so you guys are not pounding the pavement and getting those stress injuries every single day, day in and day out. So I would say with the water, just be comfortable in the pool and be able to swim. As far as weight training goes, I would just integrate weight training into functional fitness workouts. I'm not like a big CrossFit guy. I don't really do it, but we do functional fitness workouts, which can consist of CrossFit style WODs, if you want to call it that.
Godfrey Orozco. Do cross trainees go straight into BA prep or straight to TACP in doc? Cross trainees are not a part of Special Warfare Prep, formerly known as Battlefield Airman Prep, yet. I can say with some confidence that that's coming, where cross trainers will be required to go through it, and possibly even officers, but that's not here yet. So you will go straight to Medina and wait for the next TACP prep course.
I'm going to give a shout out to TACP Justin. Ray, miss you. It's been a minute, man. And then I got Ike Johnson. Is depth perception a requirement? Can you get a waiver for cross training or retake the test? Also, same with the ASVAB for prior servicemen. Right now, depth perception is not being waived. I've heard rumor that may be coming online. Still haven't heard any final word on that. So, for an example, I've had students show up here with a failed depth perception test, went, saw medical, retook the test, passed, and continued in training. I've also had it on the other foot where someone had a passed depth perception at MEPS, and then they came here, redid their flying class 3 physical, failed depth perception, and then got reclassed. So I've seen it both ways, but I have not seen a waiver for depth perception with the TACP community yet. I have heard that it may be coming online. As far as the ASVAB goes, you guys are going to probably have to take the ASVAB, and then there is a minimum score that you guys got to get. DM the page, and if you guys want, we can shoot those minimums out to you guys.
Con War 22. My phone died, guys, and might have missed if you answered my question. Is math a necessary skill to be a TACP? I know plenty of people that are math illiterate, myself included, that, yeah, we're successful TACPs. You're definitely going to have to use it. You're definitely going to have to be able to remember numbers in your
guys got a lot of questions here. We're just trying to make sure we didn't miss any, trying to hit the major ones that are going to affect a lot of the stuff you guys are probably thinking about here.
BP7721. What STS units can soft TACPs go to? All of them.
Micah Capra, what's the family life like in the TACP community? That could be dependent on each person individually, just depending on the type of relationship that they have with their significant other. I can just say from what I've seen and experienced, when the ops tempo is very high, it can put a strain on your guys' family life and your personal lives. If you're off TDY training all the time, because the one thing with being a JTAC is it's a certification and it takes time. It takes a lot of time away to go out and make sure you guys are staying current and making sure you guys are able to do the job. So there's a lot of time you guys are going to be away. Depending on what the deployments are like, you guys may go for 6 months, you guys may go for 12 months. There was a time where TACPs were supporting Iraq and Afghanistan doing 1-to-1 dwells, meaning they were doing 6 on, 6 off, 6 on, 6 off. I've known people that get divorced. I have seen families become stronger because of it. So I think a lot of it just has to do how you are with your significant other, what type of relationship you guys have, and like if you plan on working on that relationship. But just know you will be gone a lot. You guys will be doing a lot of training, and that just comes as a part of being a TACP.
Yeah, like that question comes up all the time in basic training or mentoring and stuff. You know, I feel strongly that if your marriage falls apart because of a deployment or because of how much you're gone, it was probably going to anyways. I really don't know anybody who got divorced, and the only reason was because they were gone. They didn't really have strong marriages to begin with. Ethan Busey, what made you decide on the Air Force over other branches? I sort of was in the Navy DET program with a contractor try out for SEALs, and I got into an altercation with my recruiter. And so the Air Force was the next option for me, and it turned out to be the better option anyways, because the Air Force, because we're smaller and we have very specialized mission sets, we have better facilities, our bases are nicer, you can get things accomplished with different organizations if you need to go here to get help from an agency on base. It's just better, I can say for sure, than the Army. I can't speak necessarily to the other two branches, but it's just a better organization.
Alright guys, looks like we got about 1 minute left. I'm going to answer one more question from King Arthur the Great. What would you suggest PAS scores to be to get accepted for a TACP slot? I would say the PAS scores are just the minimum. I would always tell you guys to shoot for better than the PAS. Just strive for greatness and make sure you guys are exceeding the standard. As long as you guys are working hard, exceeding the standard, and staying motivated, you guys are just going to succeed down here at the schoolhouse.
Thank you guys.
All right, thank you.